हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
प्रवीणा माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
सौम्या माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्ण दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
नमो प्रभु, दंडवत प्रणाम। नंदने सुंदरी देवी, दंडवत प्रणाम। हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। जय श्री प्रभुपाद।
वेदा माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। माता जी, हरे कृष्णा। जय श्री प्रभुपाद। You can begin now. Om Agyantimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathamritam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padhan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Shatarine Panchatattvamakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangam nangayate girim yatkripa tamaham bande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramanandam Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. So we are continuing our discussions on Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Chapter 9, the 64 items of devotional service. We may be around 25th item. They are total 64. We are discussing them in detail, or how to practice bhakti. One of the anga of practicing bhakti is bowing down in honor of the deity. This is the last one we discussed. The persons who have executed many great sacrifices will attain the result of pious activities. But when such results are finished, he has to take birth again on the earthly planet. However, the person who has once offered respects, bowing down before the deity, will not come back to this world because he will go directly to the abode of Krishna. So this is the last thing we discussed, where it says, those who perform great sacrifices of pious activities will take birth in the heavenly planets. They will reap the good material benefits for all their good works. Once those benefits are exhausted, they will come back again. But then one who bows down to Krishna once, one who bows down, will not come to this material world. This is very difficult to understand because we may think that, okay, then it is so easy to perform bhakti. But what matters here is bowing down in pure devotion. But bowing down is important. We discussed how the last verse of Srimad Bhagavatam says that anybody who chants the name of Krishna and who bows down before the Lord will be relieved of all sinful reactions. Then we saw how Raghunath Das Goswami, he will bow down 1000 obeisances to Vaishnavas every day and 2000 obeisances to Lord Krishna every day. Just the principle of bowing down. We see in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Man manam bhavan bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Where mam namaskuru means bowing down before me. So this itself, and the purpose of bowing down before Krishna is to humble our subtle body. It's difficult just to stand and humble ourselves, but when we actually bow down and put our head to the ground and then we pray, we ourselves will feel that our subtle body also becomes humbled. Our false ego goes down, mind intelligence goes down. My Lord, I surrender my life to you. My Lord, please help me. My Lord, please bestow your mercy onto me. So this will naturally come by bowing down. Okay. All right. So moving further, this is something we discussed from Naradiya Puran. A person who sees the Lord's Rath Yatra car festival and then stands up to receive the Lord can purge all kind of sinful results from his body. So one who sees the Rath cart, one bows down to Lord Jagannath Baldev Subhadra sitting in Rath cart, and then one helps like the procession of the Lord, will be purged from all kind of sinful results also. Okay, so beginning from today, the first one for today is visiting Krishna's temple. It is stated in the Puranas, person who attempt to visit the holy place of pilgrimage, like Vrindavan, Mathura, or Dwarka, are actually glorified. By such traveling activities, they can pass over the desert of material existence. Person who attempt to visit the holy places of pilgrimage are actually glorified, like Mathura, Vrindavan, Dwarka. By such traveling activities, they can pass over the desert of material existence. Now, visiting Krishna's temple is a part of bhakti, part of Vidhi Sadhana Bhakti, Prabhupada says, all my temples are Vrindavan. So when devotees go to visit Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON temples, they should come with the mood that this is Vrindavan. Because Radharani is there, Krishna is there, Vrinda Devi is there, Tulasi is there, and all the pastime places in the holy place, like all pastime places in Vrindavan, like we were discussing how in Vrindavan there is Radha Kund, there is Shama Kund, there is Govardhan, there is Yamuna. So one should have that faith that when I visit ISKCON temples, all these places are there. They are just not manifest. Because when Krishna is there, Radharani is there, then obviously they won't go anywhere where there is no Yamuna or Govardhan or the various kunds where they perform their pastimes. Then it is also very important to go to holy places. When Prahlad Maharaj was asked what are the 9 ways to perform devotional service, how to render bhakti, he mentioned Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, and Atmanivedanam. Their Padasevanam refers to visiting holy places. And it is said that anybody who visit holy place. Now, why should one visit holy place? It is mentioned that when we visit holy place, actually we leave all our sinful reactions at the holy place. I mean, one may say then I should not because I don't want the holy place to have sinful reaction. But it is mentioned in the scriptures. When we visit holy place, we come out purified. Whatever impurities remain in the heart, that Krishna takes away. That's why one of the name of Krishna is called Hari. Hari means one who steals. So what does Krishna steal? When we go and visit him in the holy places, see the deity of Krishna, then Krishna steals our impurities. Krishna steals our obstacles in progressing our spiritual life. Just seeing Krishna is very, very auspicious. Kadamba Kanana Maharaj, he just recently, day before yesterday, he departed all of us and went back to Godhead. He would, I read one of his article, he says, when we see Krishna, then there is a invisible, a deity of Krishna, he says there is an invisible golden dust that is spiritual in nature, that emanates from Krishna and that touches all of us, and we become filled with devotion. So, yeah, okay. By such traveling activities, now, naturally people like to travel. People go to, maybe various places like Florida or Niagara Falls. People go to many places. So, but it is for one's own pleasure. But if one takes the inconvenience to visit Krishna's temple, then Krishna will be very, very pleased. By such traveling activities, one can pass over the desert of material existence. Okay. Then the conditioned soul forgets the trouble of living within the mother's womb during birth. But it is very, very painful and terrible experience. In order to make an escape from this material condition, one is advised to visit the temple of Vishnu with devotional consciousness. Then one can very easily get out of the miserable condition of material birth. The nature of this material world, how Maya acts is, we forget the misery we go through. Like, that's why otherwise, how will we enjoy in this material world? So Maya Devi, she makes us remember the pleasure. She makes us forget the misery of, like, any act of sense gratification comes with a pleasure and a misery. It is always together. Pleasure can be something little temporary, and misery will also be there, but it just, we need the eyes to see the misery of all sense gratification, the misery that arises from all sense gratification. Like simple example, person who gives us maximum happiness also gives us misery, or any source of sense gratification result in misery also. But we forget the misery, and we remember the little bit of pleasure, and then we want to do those activities again, and again we suffer. And again, after some time, because we have some realization, or this seeking for pleasure is miserable, I don't want it. But then by the illusory energy of the Lord, we again forget the misery that comes from sense gratification. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ehi samspashacha bhoga dukkha yonana evate adi antavanta kontaya nate shudamate buddha. He says, Ehi samspashacha bhoga dukkha yonana evate. Samsparsha is the contact. Samsparsh, contact of the senses with the sense objects. Krishna says, dukkha yonana evate. Misery is produced by the contact of senses with a sense object. So the conditioned soul forgets. And like that's why Prahlad Maharaj says, Charvita Charvanana. He compares the concept of material happiness with chewing the chewed, because all kind of material happinesses we have chewed, we have experienced, but then we were bored, or we found some misery in that, or we were disgusted by that, or for whatever way, and then we spit it out, we renounce it, and we never want to do it again. But then we again do it after some time, chewing the chewed. And that happens because we forget the dark side of that pleasure, and we just remember the bright side. And that's how illusion covers us. Illusion means makes us feel, see, there is happiness there. And we get it, and we're like, oh, Krishna, there is so much of suffering. So the conditioned soul forgets the trouble of living within the material womb during birth. I mean, when we were in the birth, we were in the womb, we were in a miserable condition, but now we don't remember. But it is very painful and terrible experience. In order to make an escape from this material condition, one is advised to visit the temple of Lord Vishnu with devotion. This devotion aspect is very important. We are bhakti yogis. Bhakti means My Lord, please help me. My Lord, I have no devotion for you. These are all symptoms of bhakti. My Lord, I have no devotion for you. My Lord, I am full of sinful activities. All my activities are condemned. Um, um, my Lord, I am depending upon your mercy. Unless you show your mercy, how will I make progress? My Lord, I have no taste in hearing and chanting in anything. My Lord, please attract me towards you. Please let me have no other desire other than serving you. Please, please, please. So this is, there can be unlimited number of devotional modes, just giving some examples. So one should visit the temple of the Lord in a bhakti mood, in a devotional mood. Then one can very easily come out of miserable condition of material birth. Okay, this is from Hari Bhakti Sudhodaya. And then there is Sankirtan. Your pastimes are transcendental, and simply by hearing of them, one can counteract all his sinful activities. Therefore, I shall not care for all those sinful activities, because simply by hearing about your pastime, I shall get out of all the contamination of material attachment. So it is said that by hearing or by chanting the glories of Krishna, or by hearing the glories of Krishna, the qualities of Krishna, about the form of Krishna, the glories of the name of Krishna, the glories of the pastimes of Krishna, anything connected to Krishna, by hearing or by speaking, one is freed from all sinful reactions. And here we see the example of Sukadev Goswami Maharaj Parikshit. Sukadev Goswami attained perfection by glorifying Krishna. Parikshit Maharaj attained perfection by hearing about Krishna. And it is said that whether we are speaking or we are hearing, the benefit is the same. Both are equally benefited because the subject matter is glorification of the Lord. And by hearing about Krishna, the heart becomes purified. From Srimad Bhagavatam, it says, when the Paramatma sitting in the heart of all living entities, when he sees that the living entity has developed attraction for hearing about him, he becomes very pleased, and from within the heart, he wipes out the contamination from the heart. It's just when Krishna observes that we are eager to hear about Krishna, he will remove our impurities, he will remove our attachments. My dear Vyasa, you should know that persons who are engaged in executing austerities and penances, studying the Vedas, performing big sacrifices, chanting the hymns of the Vedas, speculating on transcendental knowledge, and performing charitable functions, have for all their auspicious activities simply to gain a place in the association of devotees and chant the glories of the Lord. It is indicated here that chanting about and glorifying the Lord is the ultimate activity of the living entity. So this is one verse spoken to Vyasadeva, which basically means that someone may perform austerities, charity, study the Vedas, great sacrifices, penance, gyan, karma, and whatever various things one does. The benefit one reap from all those is to come in association of devotees and chant the holy names. Functions have for all their auspicious activities simply to gain a place in the association of devotees and chant the glories of the Lord. Prabhupada also describes one of the purport of Bhagavad Gita. Somebody comes to a point of chanting the holy name of Krishna. He must have performed all the rituals, visited all the holy places, worshipped Brahma and Shiva in the previous life, and taken many sacred baths, performed various pious activities. When one has done all those things, then in this life, one can come to the point of chanting the names of Krishna. Okay, this is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Narad Muni saying to Vyasadeva. There are many songs about the Lord's activities. For example, there is a Brahma Samhita sung by Brahma, Lord Brahma, Narada Pancharatra sung by Narad Muni, Srimad Bhagavatam sung by Sukadev Goswami. If these songs are heard by any person, he can easily get out of the clutches of material contamination. There should be no difficulty in hearing these songs of God. There should be no difficulty in hearing these songs of God. They are coming down from many, many millions of years ago, and people are still taking advantage of them. So why at this time should one not take full advantage and thus become liberated? It is said that anybody who reads entire Srimad Bhagavatam once, it is said they will not take birth again in this material world. A lot of glories for Bhagavatam is there. Then just it says hearing about Krishna is a self-righteous activity that will purify the heart and bring one to mode of goodness. The more one hear about Krishna, the mode of passion and ignorance will diminish, and lust and greed will reduce. One becomes situated in the mode of goodness, and one walks towards transcendence. This is from first canto, second chapter. There is a series of verses which basically says, if you want to become free from lusty desires, what do we do? Hear about Krishna. If you want to overcome greed, what do we do? Hear about Krishna. If you have anger problem, what do we do? Hear about Krishna. The Srimad Bhagavatam will remove all the contaminations, all impurities from our heart. And Prabhupada says it's not very difficult thing to do. It's just a daily habit of reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Brahma Samhita, or Prabhupada books, any devotional books we hear, they are greatly purifying. Okay, now next comes submission. So we saw bowing down before the deities. Then we saw just now we saw the Sankirtan. Sankirtan means glorifying Krishna or hearing about Krishna. And we saw various quotes from scriptures which says how by hearing the glories of Krishna, we become purified. And the purpose of all other activities, austerities, sacrifice, charity, is we can see that they all have reaped their benefit if we come in association of devotees and either chant the holy name of Krishna or hear about Krishna. Then submission. In the Skanda Puran, there is a statement about submission onto the lotus feet of the Lord. It is said there that those who are sober devotees can offer their submission to Krishna in the following 3 ways. So this is about submission. Submission means prayers. One of the anga of bhakti is offering prayers. There are 3 ways one can offer one submission. One is called samprarthanatmika, very feelingly offering prayers. Another is called dainya bodhika, humbly submitting oneself. And another is lalasa mai, desiring some perfectional stage. So this section will take some time because it's very deep. It is said out of the 9 angas of devotional service, one of them is Vandanam, and Vandanam is called offering prayers. There are various kinds of prayers, and these are the 3 kinds of prayers. One is a prayer of humbly submitting oneself. The second one, Dainya Bodhika prayer, where we take a humble position. We will see some example of this. Then one is very humbly, like just very humble offering of prayers. One is taking a lower position, and one is desiring a particular perfection. So let's see. There is some prarthanatmika, very feelingly offering prayers. My Lord, I know that young girls have natural affection for young boys, and that young boys have natural affection for young girls. I am praying at your lotus feet that my mind may become attracted onto you in the same spontaneous way. There's actually Rupa Goswami. He prays like that, just like a boy is attracted to a girl and vice versa. When will I be spontaneously attracted to you, my Lord? It's a prayer, very feelingly offering prayer. This is from Padma Puran. Then this is, okay, another example of very feelingly offering prayers, as you see Kunti Devi from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 8th chapter. She came and she says, "My Lord, we are great yogis and sages. They are unable to understand you, and we are just women. How can we understand you? My Lord, your pastimes are inconceivable. My Lord, give me trouble again and again. So in those troubles, I take deeper shelter of you. So I welcome those troubles. My Lord, please remove my affection for my family ties, Vrishnis and Hojas and others. Let my attraction flow only towards you and no one else. Just like Ganga is attracted only to the ocean and continuously flows to meet the ocean. Likewise, my attraction, let it flow only to you and let me come to you in that way. And various prayers. Then Uttara very humbly offered prayers. My Lord, take my life, but please save the womb. Please save the child in the womb. When Ashwadhama targeted Brahmastra to the womb of Mother Uttara, where Parikshit was um, taking birth. There is prayers, beautiful prayers by Prahlad Maharaj when Lord Nrsingadev appeared, taking a humble position. My Lord, you are worshipped by great devotees, and I am only born in a family of demons. I am a demoniac person, but you are so merciful, you have showed yourself to me. Dhruv Maharaj offered prayers. He said, "My Lord, please, life after life, keep me in association of your devotees." So Srimad Bhagavatam is full of Brahma's prayers. When Brahma was humbled after Brahma Vimohan Leela, then he offered prayers, "My Lord, how glorious is this place of Vrindavan. Um, the dust of Vrindavan, the resident of Vrindavan. Please grant me residence at the outskirts of Vrindavan," he prays. So there it's full of basically very feelingly offering prayers. "My Lord, please help me." But one can, so this is about praying is very important aspect of our Krishna consciousness. Our prayers can be in one of these three categories. And one can, how should one pray to Krishna? One can pray in the footstep of great souls who have prayed in Srimad Bhagavatam. Like various prayers that I was offering was either from Kunti or Uttara or Brahma or Prahlad or Dhruv Maharaj. Demigods offer prayers, the Vedas offer prayers, Gajendra offer prayers. So these are all various prayers offered. Repeating those prayers is one way. The Vaishnava songs is a offering of prayers. Like yesterday we were singing this song, Gauranga Koruna Koro Dina Hina Jani Mosama Patita Prabhu Nahi Tribhuvane. So it's a feelingly offering prayer. Gauranga Karuna Koro. Please show your mercy on this fallen, humble soul. Please show your mercy on him. Mosama Patita Prabhu Nahi Tribhuvane. In all the three loks, there is nobody as fallen. So please show your mercy unto me, my Lord. So these are the example of very feelingly offering prayers. And these Vaishnava songs are very helpful because we try to get into the mood of these great acharyas. And the best way to offer prayers is following. It is said, there is a verse which says, Mahajano Yadakatha Sapantha, the easiest way to attain perfection is follow in the footsteps of great acharyas, Mahajans. So we have, all these devotees in Bhagavatam, they are Mahajans, our great souls, our Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, Mahajans. So this is one way to offer our prayers. Then another kind of prayer, specifically Gajendra, and some more we will see, is Daine Bodhika, where humbly submitting oneself. My dear Lord, there is no sinful living entity who is more of a sinner than myself, nor is there a greater offender than myself. I am so greatly sinful and offensive that when I come to confess my sinful activities before you, I am ashamed. This is a natural position of a devotee. This is Gajendra praying, and he's telling there is no sinful living entity who is more of a sinner than myself. And then he says, there is nor is there a greater offender than myself. And then when I come to confess my sinful activity before you, I am ashamed. I really like this. My Lord, when I come in front of you and confess my sinful activities, I am very much ashamed. I feel ashamed seeing you just because who I am. And very beautifully this comes out even in the mood of this Dainya Madhuka. It's very, very common. All these three kinds of prayers simultaneously devotee should pray. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami says, whoever sees me, whoever hears my name is contaminated. And he says, my position is lower than a worm in a stool. This is very difficult to understand. And the analogy, which is, I mean, one way to understand about worm in a stool is the worm is very much attached to stool. The stool is not a very attractive subject matter. I mean, nobody likes them, nobody looks at them. They are like discarded. Nobody likes to smell them. But then a worm in a stool is still very much attached to the stool. And if the worm is taken out of the stool, the worm will run back into the stool, and the worm feels very comfortable and happy in a stool. So one way is to compare worm in a stool is although this material world is rejected by great souls, I am very much liking the three modes. There are various ways to, and this is one way to understand that. I don't want to leave the material world. If somebody asks me to leave or give up sense gratification, I'll come back to it. So like the material world. Okay, so here he is telling, I come to confess my sin. When I come to confess my sinful activity before you, I am ashamed. As far as the conditioned soul is concerned, there is no wonder that he has some sinful activities in his past life, and this should be admitted and confessed before the Lord. As soon as this is done, the Lord excuses the sincere devotee. Then Krishna is very kind. When we go and open our heart and present Krishna, see, this is what I did. I'm ashamed to show myself to you. My activities are condemned and abominable. I beg you, please pardon me. Please still help me to come closer to you. So Krishna is very kind. And then this is another set of prayers by Rupa Goswami. This is the time when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was trying to go to Vrindavan. He went to first Bengal, then he went to Ramkeli, where he met Rupa and Sanatan. And Rupa and Sanatan, they know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Supreme Personality of Godhead. They have so far never met Lord Chaitanya. This is the first meeting described in Madhya Lila, first chapter. And then they offer various prayers. Jaya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Dayamaya Patita Pavana Jaya Jaya Mahashaya. All glories. This is another how Rupa Goswami takes a humble position in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How all glories to Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the most merciful savior of the fallen souls. All glories to the Supreme Personality. There are a series of verses here. Nicha Jati Nicha Sangi Kari Nicha Kaja Tomara Agrete Prabhu Kahite Vashila Ja. Sir, we belong to the lowest caste of men, and our associates and employment are also of the lowest type. So Rupa Goswami, they would work for Muslim rulers. They were actually from a Brahmana families, but there was a Muslim ruler who know that Rupa and Sanatan, they are very influential, they're very intelligent, and everybody respect them and everybody follows them. So they went to Rupa and Sanatan and this Muslim ruler, and he asked both of them. Their initial name was actually Santosh and Amar. Rupa Goswami was his name was Santosh, and Sanatan Goswami name was Amar. So when the Muslim ruler, he came to them and he said, "You have to work for me." And this Muslim work was very abominable. He would go to various other province and attack them, kill them, and take the kingdom under him. So they fight and they defeat, and that's how they would expand their kingdom. And they would do thief, and they have many bad activities. So this Muslim king, he came to Amar and Santosh and he asked them that you have to work for me. They said, we cannot work for you. Then they said, if you don't work for me, then we will kill all the Brahmanas in your village. And he was a very cruel man. Everybody knows he will actually do it. So Amar and Santosh were actually forced to work for that Muslim king. And the Muslim king made him the finance minister and prime minister of his kingdom. And he gave them the name, he gave them the Muslim name, he gave them the name Dabir Khas and Sakar Malik. And Amar and Santosh became Dabir Khas and Sakar Malik, but they both secretly would worship Krishna and Lord Chaitanya. They would send letter to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that we have been forced to work in a very abominable activities. Please save us from this material existence. Please be kind upon us. They would secretly read Srimad Bhagavatam in their own house. They have secret Govardhan, Radha Kund and Sham Kund. They made their own house into Vrindavan. They are eternal associates of the Lord. They come actually only to assist Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Later on, they became the Goswamis of Vrindavan. So they were very disheartened, like they did not like the association, the work. They would find their shelter in chanting the holy names of Krishna and Srimad Bhagavatam. So when they wrote repeated letters to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, no reply came from Lord Chaitanya. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to show them their mercy. So Mahaprabhu actually came to Ramkeli. Actually, Mahaprabhu wanted to go to Vrindavan. He didn't have to go to Ramkeli. It's actually a little bit out of the way from Vrindavan. But Mahaprabhu purposefully went to Ramkeli, and later on he said, I came just to deliver both of you, Amar and Santosh, or Dabir Khas and Sakar Malik. So when Mahaprabhu came, Mahaprabhu came with millions of devotees. There was Haridas Thakur, there was Nityananda Prabhu, and there were many other prominent associates. So Dabir Khas, Sakar Malik, they received the news in a dead of a night because they were finance minister, prime minister. So in a dead of the night, they covered their head, wore not the kingly robes, wore simple, very simple torn clothes, covered with a blanket in a dead of a night. They went to receive the audience of Lord Chaitanya. So first they met Nityananda Prabhu and they asked, please give us the audience to Lord Chaitanya. So through Nityananda Prabhu, they both entered into the room. And as soon as they saw Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they immediately took a blade of grass in their mouth, fell down flat, and hold on to the feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that's when they are offering these prayers. And they are saying, Nicha Jati, Nicha Sangi. Nicha means very degraded. Nicha Jati, we are very low born. Actually, they were born in a Brahmana Saraswat family, but they are telling themselves Nicha Jati because they would consider them as Muslim. Their names were Muslim. They would consider themselves Muslim just because they would work for a Muslim. Nicha Sangi, we associate with Muslims. Kari Nicha Kaj, our activities are also very degraded, very fallen, of the lowest type. Tomara agrete Prabhu kahite vasi laja. Therefore, we cannot introduce ourselves to you. We feel very much ashamed standing before you. This is Dainabotika, taking a humble position. We cannot stand in front of you. When we remember of our activities and what we are doing, we are ashamed to be in front of you. Patita pavana hetu tomara avatar, ama bai jagate patita nahi aar. Both brothers submitted, dear Lord, you have incarnated to deliver the fallen souls. You should consider that in this world there is none so fallen as us. So it is said that the more fallen we are, the more we become the recipient of mercy. Just one example given is if you have two children, one child is very good in studies and one child is like, at the verge of failing, then you will naturally put more energy there who is about to fail. So those who are very fallen, when they approach Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with the consciousness that they are very fallen, it's all about consciousness. When one approach and one genuinely takes a Dainya Bodhika prayer or humble prayer, my Lord, just see, then the Lord, when he sees a very humble nature in our consciousness, he will bestow his mercy. Patita Pavan means, Patita means fallen. Patita Pavan means purifier of the fallen. So when one considers oneself Patita and goes in front of the Lord is very pleased and Lord will bestow all mercy to him. But if somebody goes in front of the Lord and thinks, see, I'm better than him and I'm better than her and I'm better than them also. And actually, I'm very nicely situated in Krishna consciousness and my chanting is very nice and I'm very happy. And everything is so nice and I'm very sincere devotee. And I read every day and nobody does service like me. And I'm very famous in devotee congregation and everybody else becomes happy by seeing me. And whatever the consciousness may be, or I am the blessing to the community, I'm blessing to the society. So when one goes with this mood, then Lord Chaitanya said, all right, then be who you are. And we are barred from mercy. But when we go in a mood, my Lord, see, I am ashamed to come in front of you. My activities are so sinful. I am so degraded. Please bestow your mercy. This is Danya Bodhika. This we have learned from Srimad Bhagavatam, from our like Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prayers. So how to approach the Lord. And Mahaprabhu also said one should chant in a humble state of mind. One should not chant in a like, today chanting is so nice. I'm so blissful. But rather one should chant, one should feel, my Lord, I have no mercy. Please, like yesterday I was sharing, we can think of this verse, Gauranga Karuna Karo, Dina Hina Jane. By chanting, one can pray, oh Gauranga, please show your mercy unto me. Oh Radharani, please show your mercy. Oh Krishna, please show your mercy. Let me come closer to you. Let me become attracted to you. Let me become absorbed in you. Give me the opportunity to serve you. So, Dainya Bodhika. Dear Lord, you have incarnated to deliver the fallen souls. You should consider that in this world there is none so fallen as us. Jagai madhai duri karile udhar taha udharite shrama nahila tomar. You have delivered the two brothers Jagai and Madhai, but to deliver them you did not have to exert yourself very much. I mean, we know Jagai and Madhai are very, very, very sinful. And they are telling, it's not such a great thing to deliver Jagai Madhai. You did not have to exert very much. Why? Jagai Madai hete koti koti guna adhama patita papi amidui jana. They are saying Jagai Madai haite koti koti guna. They have great qualities. Koti koti guna. Adhama patita papi amidui jana. But we are the two papis. We two are the most sinful. But they have great, great qualities. This is one thing that we can learn is a devotee should try to see fault in oneself and should not see fault in others, and should take a humble position by seeing fault in oneself, and should not find fault in others, whoever they are. So we see Rupa Goswami, they are thinking Jagai Madhai has. We will discuss this next slide also. We are millions and millions of times inferior Jagai Madhai. We are more degraded, fallen, and sinful than they. So how is it that they can think like that? They are secretly performing all the devotional service. They are actually eternal associates of the Lord. They are pure devotees of the Lord. And Jagai Madhai, they would like steal, they would drink alcohol. Their whole activities are very sinful. So what is it that Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, how it's not artificial. So why is it that they are thinking that Jagai and Madhai have koti guna? They have great qualities, and we are so fallen. What makes them think like that? Oh, so the next one is different. So the answer is they say that Jagai and Madhai, they are born in Navadvip. They are Brahmanas and born in Navadvip. Navadvip is a place where you were born. They are your associate in that way. So Rup and Sanatana Goswami, they are seeing some speck of goodness in them, and they are considering they are full of goodness. And whatever faults are there in them, they are not seeing any of such fault. They're only seeing they are such great souls. And this is Krishna's mercy on us when we can see goodness in others and we don't see fault in others. So it is said that there are different kinds of devotees. They are actually mentioned that there are 6 kinds of devotees. And it is said that 6 kind of people. One kind of people, they only see fault in others. And whatever goodness are there in others, they undermine it almost to the extent of 0. And they only see fault in others. This is one of the characteristic of envy, where one see only fault in others. And even if they do something good, we will see fault in that also. We will see fault in anything and everything. Their look, how they dress, even if whatever they do, we'll find fault. If they put a tilak, we will think, oh, he's putting a tilak because he wants to show off his tilak. We will go to the lowest extent to see fault in that person at any instance. This is like seeing only the fault and not remembering the good at all, not seeing the good at all. The next kind of people are, they see little bit goodness, they see fault. They actually 5 kind. They see little bit goodness, they see fault. They undermine. One class, they don't even see the goodness, they only see fault. Another class, they see some goodness, but they don't focus on them. They see some fault and they're like, this person is like this. And they're absorbed by those faults only. And the whole impression about the person is fault. But they see good, but they purposefully don't focus on them. So they want to have a bad impression about the person only. The first class, basically the 5th category, they don't even see goodness. Then when we become little better, then we see good and we see bad. And we see that this person has some good qualities and this person has some bad qualities also. And then we go to one level up, and then we see that there is goodness, there is some faults in this person, there is some goodness in this person, but we don't focus on the faults. We know there is fault, we don't focus on the fault, and we try to have the impression of the person based on their goodness. Oh, this person is great. Why? Because this person is humble. Now they may have other side, but then these kind of devotees don't want to focus on the other side. They just want to focus on good. Yeah, they are good. They are in goodness. They are good persons. Oh, they are so humble. They are so peaceful. They are sincere. But then they may have bad habits also. But oh, they are, we see some goodness and we are like, they are great. They are great. And faults are there, but then these kind of devotees, 2nd class, they don't focus. 1st class devotees is those who cannot see fault in others. They see a person and they think this person is all good. I cannot see even a speck of fault in them. They are fit to become my spiritual master also. So this is the first class people. So the more we become purified, the more the mind becomes pure. And it is also mentioned that how much fault we see in others, different category, it's a reflection of our own fault. When we are full of faults, then we will see everybody is full of faults. When we are in the middle, then we see everybody is in the middle. And when we have a lot of goodness, then we will see a lot of goodness in others. And we are completely pure, then we cannot see even a single speck of impurity in others. A pure devotee thinks everybody is a pure devotee. This is a vision of a Uttama Adhikari. He thinks that everybody has pure love for Krishna other than me. Just like we see in 10th canto, there is Gopi Geet, where gopis are praying, they are saying, these birds are like great sages. This mountain have great love for Krishna. This river have great love for Krishna. These deers have great love for Krishna. These cowherd boys have great love for Krishna. The clouds have great love for Krishna. And they see everything as, they are so great. And they see every action of everybody as a symptom of pure love for Krishna. Krishna is playing the flute and a bird is sitting on a tree, and they think this bird is like a great sage, completely absorbed in the flute of Krishna. And the bird may just be sitting, but they see that the bird is completely absorbed in the flute of Krishna. How great is the flute? Then they see the cloud, and they see, wow, this cloud has so much love for Krishna that because it's scorching sun, so the cloud is expanding himself in such a way that he covers Krishna, so Krishna's body doesn't get burnt. And then now see, the cloud is showering rain. So cloud is trying to give some coolness to Krishna. This cloud has such immense love for Krishna. So animate or inanimate, whatever they see because it is their bhav. It is said that one's bhav is reflected in others. So they are seeing that everybody is a pure devotee of Krishna, and they are thinking, except us. Our life is condemned. We have no love for Krishna, but everybody else has so much love for Krishna. So this is like an example of one's bhav is reflected in others. On the other hand, there is Shishupal, who was a demon. It is described. Jay and Vijay took 3 birds, and in the last bird they came as Shishupal and Dantavakra. He was a demoniac person, so his mind was very much corrupted. And he is seeing that Krishna is full of faults. Whatever Krishna does, he cannot tolerate. And he just keeps on criticizing Krishna. So that is like Shishupal is projecting his bhav onto others. And that's why how much fault we see in others. I mean, we can attend the seminars on fault finding and how not to find fault in others, but actually it will happen only to the extent we become free from faults. So everything starts coming to us just by our advancement in Krishna consciousness. All the good qualities, we hear from Bhagavatam, all the qualities of demigod will naturally manifest if we just advance. Just the holy name will give us everything. So now take that mood and bring it to Rupa Goswami, who is on a platform Uttamadhikari. He is the eternal associate of the Lord. He is eternal servant of the Lord, who came just to assist Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And now see how he is not able to see any fault in Jagai Madhai. This is the platform Uttamadhikari. And it is said that that's why Uttamadhikari cannot preach. Why? Because Uttamadhikari thinks everybody is better than him or her. Then how can they preach? How can they give Krishna to others? Because they think everybody is a pure devotee of Krishna. So Prabhupada says Uttamadhikari has to come on a Madhyama platform. Madhyama platform means they can see faults. So Prabhupada says Uttamadhikari purposefully has to come to a Madhyama platform to see there are some faults, and then they train devotees. Prabhu, this is not right. Prabhu, this thought process is not right. Prabhu, you should do like this. You should chant like this. You should try to absorb it this way. You should do like this. So they are instructing mode to help others. They are showing compassion. It is said that Uttamadhikari has ultimate compassion, but he has no object of compassion, because whom to play compassion for? Everybody is a pure devotee. So that's why they, Rupa and Sanatana Goswami, they only sing, oh, they're Brahmanas born in the same village, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and that's sufficient for them. And they magnify that and they think, oh, they have koti guna. But we are papi. We have no good qualities. Okay. Okay. So does anyone has any question on these 2 kind of prayers? Heartful prayers and Dainya Bodhika, prayers in utter humbleness. Okay. Then we go to the last section, which is called lalasamai, desiring some perfect. This is third kind of prayers. Among these three kinds of prayer, lalasamai prayer are considered the best prayers. My dear Lord, when shall that day come when you will ask me to fan your body, and according to your pleasure, you will say, just fan me in this way. This from Narad Pancharatra, where this is one of the prayer where a devotee is praying, my Lord, when that day will be there, that when I will continuously fan you. So here we don't see the other two aspect. Here is a lalasmai. Lalasa means pray. Lalasa means intense desire. Lalasa mujhe. Lalasmai prayer means desiring a particular stage of perfection. We should not imitate this, but we need to understand this exists, and that's sufficient for us. Because lalasmai prayers can come when we actually realize our self in the spiritual world, our service in the spiritual world, and we aspire for that service. Lalasmai prayer is generally prayed at the stage of perfection, desiring perfection. Okay, so one devotee is praying, when that day will become when you will ask me to fan your body, and um, for your pleasure, you will say fan like this, and I will fan you. One devotee came and told me, I said, so Prabhu, what do you like in Krishna consciousness? He said, Prabhu, I have only one desire. Whenever I go to the altar and I fan Radha Gopijana Vallabha, we do chamara. So he's a pujari also. So he does chamara. So he said, when I do chamara to Radha Gopijana Vallabha, I feel like I just want to keep doing it eternally. Just want to fan the Lord eternally. I said, Prabhu, great, this is Lalasmai. So this is one example. This submission with transcendental desire, or Lalasamai Vigyapti, is the highest perfectional stage of spiritual realization, topmost level of prayers, Lalasmai. This is one example from Narottam Das Thakur, Lalasmai prayer. He wrote a song. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, they all have their own songs on Lalasmai. They have their songs on Dainaya Bodhika, and they have their songs on heartfelt prayers. So these are the three. And they all three are considered, basically, this is an Anga of Bhakti, offering prayers or submission. Kalendira Pule Kini Kadambera Vana Ratana Bedira Para Bosabadu Jana. In a forest, Kalendira Kule Keli Kadambera Vana. So Narottam Das Thakur is playing that in a Kadamba Vana, in a forest of Kadamba, Kalindi is Yamuna. Kule Keli means in a small forest of Kadamba on the bank of Yamuna. Ratana Bedira means the asana of jewel. Bosaba Dujana. Bosaba means I'll upara on the top of that asana. Bosaba, I'll make them sit. Dujana, these two people, Radha and Krishna. In a forest of small Kadamba trees on the bank of Yamuna, I will seat the divine couple on a throne made of brilliant jewel. So this whole prayer, I mean, I'm sure many devotees have heard it, but we can hear it again. Shama Gauri Ange Divo Chandane Ragandha Chamara Dhulabo Kabe Mukha Chandra. I will anoint their dark and fair forms. Shama Gauri Ange Dibo. Shama is dark and Gauri is fair. So Shama Gauri Ange, their limbs, Dibo, Chandanera Gandha. I will apply sandalwood pulp. When will I get the chance to do that? This is Lalasmai. Or Narottam Das Thakur has a deep desire to serve Radha Shyam in this particular way. It's a Lalasmai prayer. I will anoint their dark and fair forms with sandalwood paste, scented with chuya. Chuya is basically sandalwood. I will fan them with the chamara whisk. Oh, when will I behold their moonlight face? Chamara dhulabo, I will fan with chamara. Kabe, when? Heri Mukha Chandra. Mukha Chandra is moonlight faces. When will I just glimpse at the moonlight face of Radha and Shyam? Gathiya malati mala dibodo hardale adhare tuliya dibo karpura tambule. After Gathiya malati mala, a garland of malati dibo dohar gale, on both of their necks. When will I place a malati garland onto the necks of Radha and Shyam? Adhare tuliya dibo karpura tumbule. And when will I offer tambula, scented with, what do we say tambula? It's in English. Anyways,
It's Pan, Prabhuji. Like in Hindi,
Haan.
we call it Pan.
Yeah,
In the
betel
palm
leaves.
there is a beetle leaves, right?
Yes,
And
Prabhuji.
Gulkand and everything.
There
Yes.
is beetle in that. Yeah. So he is saying, Adhare tuliya dibo karpura tambule. When will I offer tambula scented with camphor to their lotus mouth as a mouth freshener? So this is like his lalasamai. I'll make them sit. Then I will apply chandan on their limbs. Then I will put malati flower on their neck. Then I will look at their beautiful faces. And then I will put this tambula scented with camphor into their mouths. Lalasmai. Lalita Vishakha Adi Jata Sakhi Brinda Agyaya Koribo Seva Charanaravinda. So here he's telling, when will I, with the permission of Lalita Vishakha and Adi Sakhi and other associates of Srimati Radharani, when will all of their permission will I serve their lotus feet? With the permission of all the Sakhis headed by Lalita and Vishakha, I will serve the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. Again, I have that desire. This is a meditation on Ratan Das Thakur, and later on he says, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Dasiranu Dasa Seva Abhilasha Kore Narotamasa. Narottam Das, the servant of Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, longs for the service of the divine couple. Seva Abhilasha Kore Narottam Das. So this is a Abhilash. It's a lalas. Lalasmai Sampraptika prayers. What is my desire? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I want to serve as Dasanudas, and Radha Krishna, Radhesham, I want to serve in this way, in a forest of Kadamba on the bank of Yamuna, on a jeweled asana, make them sit, offer tambura to them, or put a malati garland around them, massage their limbs with chandan, taking the permission of Lalita, Vishakha and others, serve their lotus feet. When Seva Abhilasha Kore Narottam Das, I'm designing for this service. Lalasmai. Again, Narottam Das Thakur serves the Lord in a particular way, so he has the adhikar to pray like that. We can pray like that. If we want to sing this prayer and apply it to ourselves, there is nothing wrong in that, but it won't be with the same intensity though. And it won't be with that burning heart, because that lalasa is like, in the lalasa my prayer, there is like intense greed. There is day and night, there is hankering, there is longing. So then it becomes lalasa. At this point of time, for us, it is more like attractive. And that's how it begins, by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, by hearing the pastimes of Krishna, by hearing the desires of our like and others. It may help us to, when we really attain the adhikar for this, then like it is said, the price we have to pay to go to Golok Vrindavan, to go back to Krishna, is the greed. So there is a lot of difference between their greed and when we sing. But at the same time, singing songs of great acharyas is a great aspect of devotional service. It's highly recommended to sing whenever you want to. But these prayers are the topmost prayers. Then this is one of the prayer, Lalasmai prayer, desiring some perfectional stage. This is a prayer by Srila Prabhupada. When Prabhupada, as you see this picture, Prabhupada was Jaladuta. Jaladuta, when he was coming, he got 3 heart attacks. And Prabhupada writes in the diary that if I get one more heart attack, I won't survive. And then in a dream, Prabhupada saw that Krishna came in his dream along with Mahaprabhu Nityananda Prabhu, along with Saraswati Thakur and Rupa Goswami and others, along with all the incarnation. And Krishna was the captain of the ship. And that's all Prabhupada saw. And then Prabhupada got up. So you see here, there's not a complete picture, but there is Matsya, there is Kurma, Narsimha, all the avatars are there. There are Goswamis and Acharyas. There is Balram, Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu. And when they saw that they all are rowing the boat, then Prabhupada got the confidence that I'm completely safe. Now, everything is arranged. So Prabhupada just became very happy and peaceful. So in Jaladuta, Prabhupada wrote a prayer. And this was Prabhupada's absorption. And Prabhupada says, Tomara milane bhai, abara se sukha pai, gocharane घूरी देना भोरा kata bana chuta chuti kabe khai luta puti sei dena kabe habe mora. So this is a beautiful prayer. Oh dear friend, Prabhupada is praying, oh dear friend, in your company I will experience great joy once again. This is Lalasmai. So Prabhupada is referring to Krishna, and Prabhupada is telling, oh dear friend, in your company I will experience great joy once again. In the early morning, I will wander about the cowherd pastures and fields, running and frolicking in the many forests of Raja. I will roll on the ground in spiritual ecstasy. Oh, when will that day be mine? So Prabhupada is, when will I roll in the dust of Raja? When in the morning I will greatly enjoy your company. When will that day be mine? This is another Lalasmai prayer. Prabhupada is expressing his desire to be with Krishna, to be in Vrindavan, to be with the cows, early morning running and frolicking in the forest of Raja. Lalasmai. Aji se subhidane tomara smarana bhela baro asha daki lam tai ami toma nitya das tai kariyeta ash tumi bina anya gati nai. Today the remembrance of you came to me in a very nice way. Because I have a great longing, I called to you. I am your eternal servant, and therefore I desire your association so much. O Krishna, except for you, there is no other means of success. So this is a whole one prayer where Prabhupada is telling, today Krishna, your remembrance came to me in a very nice way. And what is the remembrance that came to Krishna? That Prabhupada is in Vraja and he is frolicking and running, and Lord Put, he is rolling in the dust of Raja and greatly enjoying the company of Krishna. And Prabhupada says the remembrance came to you in a very nice way. When will that happen? Example of Lalasmai. In other words, one should learn how to cry for the Lord. One should learn this small technique. Okay, so one should learn this small technique, and he should be very eager and actually cry to become engaged in some particular type of service. It is said that we cannot just attain Krishna just like that, but we have to cry. And crying is a way to express our eagerness. Like, when we are really, really longing for something, and when we realize that what I'm longing for is not in my hands, it is something that has to be bestowed. It's not something that I can attain, but I really have great longing. Then one will ask, why not? Please, I want that. Please, I want that. And when the eagerness increases and one feels like I cannot live without that. I want that desire to be fulfilled, which is to serve in a specific way. and one feel helpless, then one will actually, in that great eagerness, one will cry. So Prabhupada said one should learn this small technique. Prabhupada said it's a small technique that you have to cry, but actually it requires, it requires Krishna's mercy to be able to cry for Krishna. When we don't have Krishna's mercy, we cannot even cry for Krishna. One should learn this small technique, and he should be very eager to actually cry to become engaged in some particular type of service. This is called laulya. Laulyam. Laulyam ekam api mulyam. The only price we have to pay for prema, love of God, is laulya. This is called laulya. And such tears are the price for the highest perfection. So Prabhupada says this is one technique we have to learn. Is we have to learn to cry. If one develops this laulya or excessive eagerness for meeting and serving the Lord in a particular way, that is the price to enter into the kingdom of God. Otherwise, there is no material calculation for the value of the ticket by which one can enter the kingdom of God. The only price for such entrance is this laulya lalasa mai, or desire and great eagerness. So this is one paragraph from Nectar of Devotion that Prabhupada says this is the price we have to pay, is laulya lalasa mai. Krishna, I want to attain you, please, Krishna. But it will something that will come naturally by Krishna's mercy. So we discussed three kinds of submission or three kinds of prayers. One is feelingly praying for anything and everything. One is taking a humble position, that is like, for example, my Lord, please show your mercy. It's a feelingly offering prayers. And anything else like Kunti Devi or others. Then Daine Bodhika is, my Lord, I am ashamed to come in front of you. There is another song, Guru Dev Kripa Bindu Diya Koroe Dase. There it says, Yogyata Vichare Kichu Nahi Pai. Karuna Sara Karuna Vive Kandiya Kandiya So it says Yoga. If you see what qualification, it should have Karuna Sara. Everything is your mercy. I chant very nicely. I'm very serious. I get up and did I lose you all?
No, Prabhu, we are there.
Was I
We are
there?
here.
Was I
Yes,
there?
maybe
We
for 2
couldn't
seconds.
hear
Prabhuji.
you.
Prabhuji,
Yes,
it's a middle,
Prabhuji.
little bit gap.
Yeah, we couldn't hear you.
Oh no. What was the last time you heard?
Prabhuji, when you started singing Kripa Bindu.
The prayer, yes.
Oh yeah, okay. So there Prabhupada is saying Yogyata Vichare Kichu Nahi Pai Tomara Karuna Sara Karuna Na Hoibe Kandiya Kandiya Prana Na Rakhibo Ara Guru De Kripa Bindu Diya Koroe Dase Trinapeka Atina. So here this particular Vaishnava bhajan, it says Yogyata Vichare Kichu Nahi Pai. If you see my qualification, Kichu Nahi Pai, you will not see anything. So what is my qualification? Tomara Karuna Sara. Everything is your mercy. So here devotee is not thinking, I was just referring, I'm repeating my verse. Here devotee is not thinking, what is my qualification for progress? Well, my qualification is I get up very early and I chant very nicely, and I chant some extra rounds also when time permits, and I spend time with reading. I read very systematically, or I do a lot of service, or I'm initiated now, or so I'm very humble. I don't see fault in anyone. I do whatever devotees say. So one is not thinking about any of these terms, but one is thinking, what is if Krishna asks you, you want to come to me? We say, yes, I want to come to you, Krishna. Krishna says, well, what is your qualification? Then the devotee is not saying, well, my qualification, Krishna says, I chanted and I read and I was sincere and I would try my best not to engage in sense gratification, although I would fail many times, but at least I would try a little bit here and there. And he's not sharing this, but he's saying, Kichu nahi paye. Yeah, if Krishna asks, what is your qualification? Then you say, Krishna, I have no qualification. Then why should I take you if no qualification? Then you should say, Krishna, mercy. Tomara karuna sara. Just mercy, you call me back from mercy. I have no qualification. Like one time Jadguru Prabhu says, he says, you know what it means, Trinadapi Sunichina? I said, Prabhuji, I have heard it many times, but I do not understand at all this word, Trinadapi Sunichina. He said, I know you don't understand. That's why I'm telling you. I said, well, please tell me, what does this mean, Trinadapi Sunichina? He said, Trinadapi Sunichina means to make yourself zero. Not even this much. Make yourself zero. Zero means like complete karuna. There is nothing about me. But he says, the more we are full of ourselves and we are proud of ourselves, then the principle of Trinadapi Sunichina goes. I mean, I have decades to realize that. But anyways, so I was just going through the prayers again. There is willingly offering prayers. There is Dainya Bodhika. Dainya Bodhika is a state of humbleness. And then there's Lalasmai, which is the highest. I think we are close to the end of this chapter. Okay, I think there's just 1 or 2 more slides to this chapter. Reciting notable prayers. Devotees whose tongues are decorated always with prayers to Lord Krishna are always given respect even by the great saintly persons and sages, and such devotees are actually worshipable by the demigods. Once again, devotees whose tongues are decorated always with prayers to Lord Krishna are always given respect even by great saintly persons and sages, and such devotees are actually worshipped by demigods. In other words, we should try our tongue to be always decorated with prayers for Lord Krishna. Like always offering prayers, always depending on Krishna. Krishna, please help me. 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 And in some way or the other, always crying out to Krishna for mercy, crying out to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for mercy, crying out to Nityananda Prabhu for mercy. Har kabe nitai chande karuna hoi me samsara basana mora kabe to chahabe. When will I receive the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu? And then the vasana for samsara will become tuchha. When that will happen? Always those who always are offering prayers to Krishna in a humble mood, it is said that they are always given respect even by great saints and sages will respect you. If your heart and your tongue is always filled with prayers. And when it says notable prayers means you don't concoct a prayer. Notable prayer means Mahajanita Katha Sapanta. You offer the prayer which is offered by pure. You put your heart into other prayer and you speak as if it's your prayer to them. That becomes reciting notable prayers. And those who do that, such devotees are actually worshipable by the demigods. That is from Skanda Puran. Again in Srimad Bhagavatam, there are hundreds of prayers to the Lord. So a devotee should select some of these prayers for his recitation. Some of the prayers we say, Om Agyantimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. This is actually a Dainya Bodhika prayer. Very humble that I was born in the darkest ignorance. And my spiritual master came with the torchlight of knowledge and illuminated my heart. And then Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam. Swayam Rupa Kadamayam. Kada means when. Dadati Swapadantikam. When will I get an opportunity to serve the lotus feet of Rupa Goswami? When will I become the object of the mercy of the lotus dust of Rupa Goswami? Kadamayam Dadati. Swapadantikam, one who knows the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Again, it's actually a feelingly offering prayers. Okay, this is the last one for today. Taking Charnamrit. Charnamrit is obtained in the morning while the Lord is being washed before dressing. Scented with perfumes and flowers, the water comes gliding down through his lotus feet and is collected and mixed with yogurt. In this way, this Charnamrit not only becomes very tastefully flavored, but also has tremendous spiritual value as described in Padma Puran. Even a person who has never been able to give in charity, who has never been able to perform great sacrifice, who has never been able to study the Vedas, who has never been able to worship the Lord, or in other words, even one who has never done any pious activity, will become eligible to enter into the kingdom of God if he simply drinks Charnamrit that is kept in the temple. And it also says that one who drinks Charnamrit does not die untimely and does not get deceased. One time again, I asked Guru, Prabhu, tell me some tips of progress. He said, drink Charnamrit every day. I said, Prabhuji, why? I mean, I have my own reasons, but I wanted to hear from him also. So I said, Prabhuji, why should I drink Charnamrit every day? He said, because there are external factors that will stop us from making progress, like health issues, other things. When we contract them, devotional service becomes difficult. So it is also practical to, if we drink Charnamrit, untimely things won't happen. Then we can focus more on Krishna consciousness. He gave a very practical answer, but it also says that one who drinks Charnamrit enter into kingdom of God. It is something that has washed the lotus feet of Krishna, contain the dust from the lotus feet of Krishna. That is like unlimited time, greatly beneficial. Okay, so that's the end of the chapter. All right, are there any discussion at this point of time? Any question, any discussion?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. No questions, Prabhuji, but very nice class. And the illustrations of all the slides, the pictures of Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, everything, like when we remember the picture, it recalls the contents of the slide as well. It was very nice, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, one question, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji, you told about Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, they got delivered from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, no, Prabhuji?
Yes.
So, like, after they went and like bowed down to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and told that, you know, we are so fallen and this one, but after that, when Mahaprabhu delivered, so they went back, is it, Prabhuji? I mean, they were not anymore with the Muslim ruler, or?
Yeah, good question. So first Mahaprabhu said, oh, Rup and Sanatan, give up your humility. Your humility is breaking my heart. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the one who came to propagate humbleness. And when seeing the humbleness of Rup and Sanatan, he says, your humility is breaking my heart. Very soon, Krishna will deliver you. Be patient. Very soon, Krishna will deliver you. From now, your name will be, the Bir Khas became Sanatan Goswami, and Sakar Malik became Sanatan Goswami, became Rupa Goswami. So Mahaprabhu gave them these names, and then Mahaprabhu left. Very soon after that, Rupa Goswami, he sent a messenger to Puri to inquire about where is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The messenger came back with the news that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has left for Vrindavan. Then Rupa Goswami, along with his brother Anupam, they both took a boat. They both asked Sanatan Goswami that we are going to meet Lord Chaitanya, you also come. So Sanatan Goswami said, the time is not yet right. I will take care of the things here because there are many Brahmanas. If we both escape, the king may become very angry and he may harm the relatives, the other Brahmanas. So Sanatana Goswami very responsibly said, I will stay here and absorb myself in reading Srimad Bhagavatam, and you go. So Rupa Goswami with Anupam, they took a boat and they went and they met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Prayag, Allahabad. And then behind Sanatana Goswami, then Rupa Goswami is out of the work under the Muslim ruler. Then Sanatana Goswami, he would day and night absorb in Srimad Bhagavatam, along with association of other devotees, other saints in the town. So the Qazi or the Muslim ruler, he sent a letter to Sanatana Goswami to join the work. Sanatana Goswami said, I am sick. What he basically meant is, I am spiritually sick. I need to become healthy. And I become healthy by reading Srimad Bhagavatam. That was the inner message, but externally he said that I am sick. Then the Muslim ruler, he waited for a few days and then he got some doubt. So many days of sickness, how is it possible? So the Muslim ruler, he sent a servant to go and see what is Sanatan doing. And they went to the house of Sanatan untold, and they saw Sanatana Goswami was completely absorbed in Srimad Bhagavatam study, along with other devotees. And they were together glorifying Krishna, glorifying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That enraged made the Muslim ruler very angry. He immediately gave a notice to put Sanatana Goswami in the prison. Sanatana Goswami went into the prison. The news through the other Brahmanas, they sent a letter through a messenger, and the news reached Rupa Goswami. So Rupa Goswami became very distressed. So Rupa Goswami sent a letter to Sanatana Goswami through the same messenger that I have saved these many thousands of gold coins. Use them to escape yourself. That's all he sent. So Sanatana Goswami received the letter, and Rupa Goswami went to Prayag and he went to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't know anything externally, but he is Swayam Bhagwan, so he knows everything. So Rupa Goswami asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that, my Lord, one request, my elder brother, Sanatana, my life and soul, he is being under the Muslim jail, treated very cruelly. Please bestow your mercy on him. So Mahaprabhu closed his eyes and Mahaprabhu opened his eyes, and then he smiled and he said, don't worry, Rupa, Sanatana is already released, because Mahaprabhu knows everything. But in the meantime, what happened? Sanatana Goswami, he gave some gold coins to the jailer and he escaped. He told the jailer, I'm going to Mecca to worship. And if you release me, you will get the benefit because I'm going to Mecca. And I will give you these many gold coins. And the jailer was overcome by greed. So he said, but if I escape you, then the Qazi will kill me. So Sanatana Goswami said, don't worry. You say that he went for the nature's call to use restroom by the river, and somehow he fell into the river. And it's a very, very depth, he didn't survive. So just say that he died. And he jumped in the river and he died. So that's how Sanatana Goswami then internally in the water, he swam across, and with the help of another servant, Ishan, whom he left in the middle, then Sanatana Goswami made his way, and he also met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Varanasi. And from that point onward, they both were completely engaged in the service of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They were delivered by Lord's mercy. Is that all right, Mataji?
Yeah, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
All right, thank you. Okay, are we good to end here? All right, thank you all very much. If I spoke anything wrong, please forgive me as a humble servant. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare
Krishna Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Pranam, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.